Weilà, weilà raga, come state ragazzi? Spero tutto bene. I'm here today with my digital whiteboard that I'm going to be using to handwrite notes. This is the first episode in our series of Zero to Hero Italian grammar, as I like to call it. So we're going to be looking at things from the ground up. Today's lesson is going to be on gender and number agreement. Let's take a look now at our whiteboard. So we're going to be doing gender and number agreement. All right, fantastico. So this is very important in Italian because gender and number agreement comes up everywhere. And I always tell students, if you don't understand it the first time you see it, don't worry because it will never go anywhere. Now, that's not a bad thing. It just means that you're going to have more and more opportunities to make sense of this. So let's begin with the most fundamental thing. When words end in the letter O, that is for masculine singular words. I'm going to be abbreviating like this. Masculine singular words. That's how we know it's masculine. Such as libro, ragazzo, and there's tons of other words. Libro means book, ragazzo means boy. When a word ends in A, that is a feminine, yet again that's my abbreviation, singular word, such as, let's do ragazza, so girl. There are other words as well, but let's just keep it to ragazzo, ragazza, because we can use this now for the plural words. So we've got boy in ragazzo, ragazza is girl, and now to make a masculine word plural, it actually is going to end in I. So let's put that right over here. Now in Italian, we call this I. That's the pronunciation of that letter. So masculine plural is I, such as when we say ragazzi. Now the important thing to note about masculine plural words is that when we say something like ragazzi, this also includes a group of boys and girls. So that is something important to note about masculine plural. This can also be mixed group. All right, nice. And then when a word ends in E in Italian, but we pronounce this as E, so if we were to pronounce all of these, we have O, A, I, E. Those are the proper pronunciations of these. So if a word ends in E, this is feminine plural. But this is an exclusive group. This is just females in the group. And we can say ragazze. Now, not every word is going to have an O, A, I, N, E ending available. It's just the way that it works in the language, but many words do. So now what we're going to do is move on to what we call definite articles. Because definite articles have everything to do with gender and number agreement. Now, if you don't know what a definite article is, it's just the way that we say the in a language. Now, in English, we just say the, but in Italian, they have multiple ways that correspond with the gender and number of things that we're talking about. So we first have il. Il is used for masculine singular words, such as il ragazzo. So masculine singular. This is how we now say the boy. So before, we were just covering, like with this word, just how to say boy, girl, boys and girls or guys, like a mixed group, and just girls. That's what we were doing up here. But now we're learning how to say the boy. Then when we make it plural, so masculine plural words end in I, or the letter I. I ragazzi. Now let's do for girls. La, such as la ragazza, feminine singular. And feminine plural, le, as in le ragazze. Nice. Now there are a few more other articles. We don't just have masculine singular, plural, then feminine singular, plural. We have a few others. Now, when il or la happens to come next to a word that begins with a vowel, it actually becomes L with an apostrophe. So what I do I'm going to show you first the Italian way. So if you had il plus a word such as anno, which means year, when you have il followed by a word that is masculine and begins with a vowel, it actually becomes l'anno. That's how the Italians teach it. I instead just put L with an apostrophe, and I say either l'anno, or the next word that we're going to do is going to be l'università. This is a feminine word because it ends in the letter A, but begins with a vowel. Here we have la plus università. I'm just going to make it uni, just for sake of writing quickly. This becomes l'uni, which does exist in Italian, but you can also fill in the blank and say l'università. So that's how Italians teach it. They just say, well, this article right here, they don't view it as a separate article. I make it a separate article so that we can remember as we are learning, okay, there's 7 articles, but Italians only consider 6. So we're going to look at the final 2 in just a moment, but this is how an Italian would teach it. So I'm going to leave it here in case you find that useful. But otherwise, you just have to remember, it's either masculine singular, begins with a vowel, or feminine singular, begins with a vowel. You're going to use L with an apostrophe. But to an Italian's head, it's basically the same thing as using il and la, but it's just going to become L with an apostrophe because of what it's next to. So I hope I explained that in a nice, clear way. Now, the next definite article we have is going to be lo. Now, lo is used for masculine words that begin with S followed by a consonant or the letter Z. This rule I'm actually going to write out because I think it might be helpful. So we have lo schermo, which means the screen, or lo zaino, which means the backpack. So this is used for masculine, singular words. They begin with S plus consonant, which means any letter that's not a vowel, or Z, or for my friends outside of the US, Z. So that's when we use this. There are a few exceptions, or maybe I shouldn't say exceptions per se, a few additional usages, such as if the word begins with GN, like gnocco. Usually we say gnocchi in the plural. A gnocco is a type of pasta. So that exists as well. So I'm just going to put that here. We also have GN. I'm going to write the whole list. So we have GN, PN, PS, the letter Y, and the letter X. So if a word begins also with these, so I'm just going to put this as a little addition, it's either S plus a consonant or Z or Z. These are the main ones, but you may also find additional words like this that use lo. But I'm not going to go too crazy with that because I think S plus consonant or Z is the most important. And now what happens if these words are plural? Where they're going to take yi. G-L-I is pronounced yi. Almost like you're trying to say li, but your tongue is a bit tied. It's a bit stuck in the back of the throat. And it's sort of like the tongue is sliding on the roof of the mouth, just going up to the ridge, just going up to your teeth. Yi, yi, just like that. So we would say gli schermi. So this is making it plural, going from O to I. And then gli zaini. So same rules as above, just when you're making it plural. Now there is one additional thing to note. When you have a masculine word that begins with a vowel, when you make it plural, you also put yi before it. So I'm going to write these down as well. So yi is used for masculine, singular words that begin with vowel, S plus consonant, or Z or Z. Now, what happens to the female words that begin with S plus a consonant or Z? Nothing. You just use la. What about when they're plural? You just use le. How about if a feminine word begins with a vowel and is plural? Just use le. So what's nice is that the feminine words don't have a lot of extra rules. So I think that's fantastic. So these are your multiple ways of saying the in Italian. Now how about if we want to say a and an? These are called indefinite articles. All right. This is how you say, oops, there we go, a or an. Cool. Now these are very similar to the definite articles, and the good news is there's fewer of them. So we say un for masculine singular words. So we say un ragazzo. We say una for feminine singular words. All of these are going to be singular. Indefinite articles are always singular. Una ragazza. Now, we also have, when these are next to a vowel, they do, at least one of them does something special. Not all of them. So when una is next to a word with a vowel, it becomes un with an apostrophe. So for example, un'aula, which is a classroom. So this is just feminine words that begin with a vowel. Not masculine words. They don't attach. So we don't say, I'm going to show you what we don't say. While we say l'anno, like that, we do not say un anno. This is always separated. We don't do this with un. So we just say un anno. This is correct. Okay? I'm going to delete this out. Very nice. Let's go back to black over here. And finally, we have uno. Now this, very similar to lo that we looked at just a few moments ago, is when you have S plus a consonant or a Z for masculine words, such as uno schermo, meaning a screen, or uno zaino, which means a backpack. And these are your definite articles. Nice and easy, right? Not that bad. So what I'd like to do to finish up today's lesson is show you guys demonstrative adjectives and pronouns. That way we can at least say something very small, put a few words together, and then we're going to wrap up the lesson. So let's now do our demonstrative, adjectives and pronouns. Depending on how you use them, they can either be an adjective or a pronoun. All right. So this is just going to be pure memorization. Pure memorization. This is how we say this and these. Oops, don't like how that looks. Actually, I'm going to write this down here because there's not a lot of room. So this is how we say this, these, that, and those. So this and that are the singular versions. These and those are the plural versions. These also correspond to gender and number. So let's begin with questo. So we're first going to begin with questo, which means this, okay? So let's begin first with this. We have questo. How would it be feminine? Questa. Nice. Now, what about if there's more than one thing? Instead of this, we want these. We're going to say questi, ending in the letter I, and the female, queste. Nice, right? Pretty straightforward. You just have to memorize it, but at least the gender and number agreement is always there. Now, what about if you have a word that begins with a vowel? If it's male or female, it's going to become quest with an apostrophe. I'm just going to rewrite this because I want you to see that it is a U. There we go. Okay. So let's do a few examples of these, shall we? We can say questo. Yeah, see, that's why I want to make sure I have this separate, because I'm thinking this is just one letter. There we go. Questo ragazzo. This means this boy. If we want to say these boys, we say questi ragazzi. Or these guys. It means a group of guys and girls. Then we can say questa. Ay, 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 ay. Ecco. Ecco means there. Questa ragazza. This girl. These girls. Queste ragazze. But the way we properly pronounce it is queste ragazze. Queste ragazze. And then to use quest with an apostrophe, we can say quest'anno, this year, or quest'università, this university. Awesome. Very cool. And now let's go into that and those. So this is this. So right here, we did this and these. Now we're going to move on to that and those. All right. So let's do that. Okay. We have quel. And what I'm going to do is put a word right next to it. Let's do that straight off the bat. So let's say quel ragazzo. So that means that boy. If it's plural, it's going to be quei. Quei ragazzi. If it's female, we're going to say quella. Quella ragazza. And if it's female plural, quelle ragazze. Awesome. Quel ragazzo, quei ragazzi. Quella ragazza, quelle ragazze. If it's masculine, S plus consonant, or begins with a Z, we say quello. Quello schermo. If it's the plural version, we say quegli. Quegli schermi. So, that screen, those screens. So yeah, that and those. So if it's singular, it's going to mean that. That boy. This means those boys. Or boys and girls. It can also be both. Very nice. And now, if we have it beginning with a vowel, we say quell'anno, that year. It can also be female. Quell'università. I'm just going to say quell'uni. And then if we have, what else are we missing? I think we got everything. Yeah, believe we got everything. Cool. Very nice. So yeah, now we're able to put some words together, right? We can say things such as quel ragazzo, quella ragazza. We could say l'anno, un anno. We could say la ragazza. We can say questa. Let's say questa cosa, this thing. And we can keep going. So this is essentially your nice beginner overview of gender and number agreement. I hope you guys found this useful. This is just stuff that you just have to commit to memory. Don't worry if it doesn't all set in the beginning. Make sure you handwrite notes. That's definitely going to help you. And the further and further you get along in Italian, this will all start to come together because we really need to start including verbs and, conjunctions, particles, object pronouns, all that kind of good stuff to really start bringing everything together. But this right here, at least, lays a bit of the groundwork. All right, guys, so that's going to be it for today. We're going to be coming back with some other lessons on Italian grammar, so be sure to stay tuned. And that's going to be it for today. Always remember to spread the love, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Ciao, ciao!